Well, hello everyone, and here we are back at Whitebeard's kitchen again, Saturday evening. So what I am going to do this evening is a chicken tandoori tikka pathia. I've had this chicken marinating overnight, so that's the first time I have done that. I've also added a tiny taste of red food colouring. So I'm just going to simply place this onto a baking tray. I'll cook this, it's chicken breast I'm using, so I'll do it at a high heat of roughly about 200 degrees centigrade. And I'll only do this 15 minutes. I'm not using chicken thighs, I'll just keep an eye on it, just to get a bit of a char on it. Okay guys, so this is the chicken that I've just taken out of the oven. I had it in for 15 minutes. As I say, it's chicken breast. You can see little crispy darker bits, and that's exactly what I want. I know I didn't take you through that at the beginning, but anyway, it is on a few of my other recipes if you do want to check it out. Okay folks, so I'm going to actually go through the spices with you. What I do have in here is a heaped teaspoon of kasuri methi or fenugreek leaves. I've just rubbed them ever so slightly. I also have probably about half a teaspoon of actual fenugreek seeds as well. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder, half a teaspoon of Tandoori masala powder. Okay, so just put that in as well. A quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder, well, a heaped teaspoon of coriander powder. I'm using hot Madras curry powder. I don't have the mixed powder, so there we are. So half a teaspoon just of that, 3/4 of a teaspoon of garam masala, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a 3/4 of a teaspoon of just red chili powder. You could use extra hot if you wish. I'll test this, and it's like anything, I'd rather put in less than more, because if you put in more you cannot take it out. Okay, I'll add salt to it later, but there's salt in the garlic and ginger paste that I have. So that's the spices I'm going to use roughly. If I add any more, I'll let you know during the cooking process. At last, now to start cooking properly. So what I have in here is roughly about, I'm going to say 2.5 tablespoons of butter ghee. Once that kind of melts down, then I'll put in my hard spices. I'll put them in now actually, what do you call it? So I've one black cardamom pod. I have roughly about 1.5 inch piece of cassia bark, or cinnamon, whatever you wish to call it. I'm putting in 2 bay leaves. So I have my stove top up to a kind of high heat. Okay, so there we are. So roughly about 2.5 tablespoons of butter ghee. By all means use vegetable oil, use coconut oil, as long as it's a high smoking point. You could use olive oil obviously as well, but you know, just it won't get, you know, don't let it reach too high with the olive oil, just as long as it's obviously warm. So there we are. So that's that going in. So first, people chop their onions, dice them. I haven't, and I'm not doing that for my pathia anyway. So this is I'm going to say medium to large red onion. I'm going in. There we are. So get that in. I want to get a reasonable brown colour, not dark, but I want to brown the onion. Okay, so that goes in. So I'll come back when the onion is cooked to my liking, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I've been stirring the onions from time to time, don't want them to burn. I use the red onion, use a white onion or brown onion, whatever you want to call them. This was just what happened to be at hand. So I've got a good colour of these, and they've softened down. And if you find that they're catching a bit, add a splash of water. You could have had another taste of oil, but I always would use a splash of water. So what I'm going in here with now is garlic and ginger paste. So So I have roughly, I like my garlic, so roughly about 2 tablespoons of garlic and ginger paste going in there. I'm going to say that it's probably 3/4 of a tablespoon of ginger to the garlic. Turn this down a wee bit. As I say, I don't want things to burn, just to get the rawness of the garlic, ginger and garlic to burn either. So I've got it kind of a medium low heat now just at the moment. Okay, I'm just going to add in, I think, just a little splash of water. I'm using boiling water. I don't want to keep cooling things down. Again, no big deal on that. Let's add another teaspoon. No exact measurements on the water that I'm using. Okay, so just turn it up to medium. I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm using just good old tomato puree, tomato paste. So I'm going to say roughly about 2 tablespoons going in. There we are. I could have added a taste of water to that before I put it in, but sure, I can add water to the pot. So again, this is at a medium now. I've got it at. It's just to take the tartness off the tomato paste. So give that a good mix. There we are. And already the smell of that, I mean, I just love the smell of the garlic and the onion, and a fine red onions, or maybe a tiny wee bit sweeter. I'm not so sure whether that's the case or not. I do, but that could be me. Add in when you like, but I have here roughly about a medium-sized pepper, bell pepper. We call them just peppers at home, and a conglomeration of colours. I just used up bits and bobs that I had lying about. So there's red and there's green and there's a touch of yellow going in there. So I just want the peppers to soften a little bit. So I'll be back and I'll probably add wee splashes of water to this and stir it. Excuse me, eating again, piece of raw onion. My wife loves this nut. Okay, so I'll be back probably in about 5 minutes. I just want this to soften. So I'll have it at a medium heat roughly. The peppers have softened a wee bit, so that'll do the job. Just turn this up to high, give it a bit of a mix through. Okay, now down to low. Because the next step is the spices that I mentioned earlier. So in they go. Get it all in. Just give those a mix for about a minute or so. Just to liven up the spices a bit, bloom them, also to take maybe a little bit of the dampness away as well. You know, you want to freshen up your, liven up your spices. So there we are. Just add a tiny taste of water. Don't want them to burn. There we are. Make sure to scrape around the pot. Things at the edges are at the bottom as well. Right. So waste not and want not. That marinade that I did the chicken in, I have a kind of drizzle of it here. So I am going to add that in. Why not? They were going to say this is not a Pathia, it's turning out to be more like Tandoori, but no, it's not. It will be spicy, it will be sweet, it will be sour, but I'm not going to waste that. For all there is, probably about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons at the most. There we are, get that ready. Again, it's only spices, and most of the spices that I just added, the dry spice there, is in that marinade. So, there we go. So Now, what I'm going to do, top up the water and let this cook for a while, because my chicken is more or less cooked. So I'm going to say probably about maybe 3 to 400, say 350 mils. So I'll turn this up to a high, put the lid on it, and that will be me. I'll just give it a wee stir from time to time. There's a few other ingredients to go in. I'll add those probably in about 10 minutes or so. But okay folks, so it's bubbling away. What I'm going to do is add a taste of salt to it. So I'm going to add roughly about a teaspoon of salt. Just so. Excuse me when I eyeball it again. Just over a teaspoon possibly. There we are. It's rock salt. So there we are. That's the salt in. Okay. So, and I am stirring this because it can stick at the bottom from time to time. So what I have in here, going in, and I've found a pip, which I don't want, is the juice of a lemon. You could use lime, it's entirely up to you. I have both, but I've a lonely lemon there. He's been looking at me for a while to use them, so I'm using them this evening. Right, so give that a stir. I'll say I have this on a high heat. And next, what I'm adding in is mango chutney, just as a kind of sweetener. Might even add a tiny taste of sugar. So I'm going to say I'm adding in roughly about 4 teaspoons of mango chutney. Might need a wee bit more, I don't know. You can just use sugar, or you know, if you want to be healthy, like a sweetener. I have an expensive one there that I use from time to time, but I'm running out of it, so I'll keep that for another day. There we are. Now I definitely will have to keep a little eye on it with the mango chutney going in, so I might add a tiny taste more. But it's roughly about 4 teaspoons, just maybe 5. But the only way to do it, give it a test, just at the minute. Yep, it's spicy. You can taste the sourness, the lemon juice. I might add in a tiny taste more mango chutney, maybe double that. Probably should be maybe. And again, it's your preference, you know. But say at the minute, I'll let that cook through and see how it goes. Right, get on again. Turn it kind of the medium high now, and let it bubble away and cook. Okay, so I'm going to add in, as I said, I'm going to add in another couple of teaspoons. There wasn't maybe even, about say 3 to 4, so there we are. I'm going to add another 3 in. There. This is cheap old mango chutney, so it's not the best, but does the job. The spices, for me, and certainly for my better half, my darling wife and my editor, who will be eating this, her spice level certainly went up. So I don't want to put any more spice in. There is a good kick, but it's not blow your face completely off some of the stuff that I eat. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put them in whole, not going to even slit them. They're going to impart a tiny bit of their flavour. Is a couple of green chilies, and those green chilies that I have put in, they are bloody hot. I don't want them cooking, and I don't want them splitting. In this, they are powerful. So just even cooking in there will give it another bit of a kick. I'm going to turn this down to kind of a medium. I'm going to have to stir it reasonably regularly because of the mango in. Just going to taste again, see, because it was quite tarty with that lemon. There was a fair bit of juice. Yep. I wouldn't want any more sweetness in that. At all. I don't think. Actually, in fact, this mango chutney is not great, but anyway, I'm not going to say who the brand is, maybe. Anyway. So, if we were putting that into tablespoons, probably about 3 tablespoons of mango chutney I have put in. It looks, this pot is quite large, so I turn it down to a medium and just stir it regularly for another 10 minutes or so. Bung the chicken in for another 5 to 10 minutes, and that will be it cooked. Okay folks, so I'm going to add in now the chicken, and it only will need to cook probably for, I'm going to say, maybe 10 minutes. So let's hope we don't spill the bloody thing. So I'm just going to bung it in off the paper, and I'll leave the paper later so I can lick it. I jest, well maybe not, but anyway. So that's the first part in. And excuse me while I race and get the other. A couple of things going on, and I've got my rice on. I'm doing somebody pita bread as well, so I don't want it to burn. So there we are. And just going to give this a mix. Put it on a low, the medium. Yep, and that turned out really, the chicken turned out really well. And the chicken is cooked. Just my better half, my little editor, came in and had a slight bite of one of them and tells me that it's perfect in the middle. So this is really only a heating through job. And I have it on a very low, on a low ring or small ring on my stovetop. Low ring, turned to very low. And I think one of those chilies has split that I talked about that I didn't want to split, but hey ho. There we are. Tastes really, really nice, I have to be honest. So, lid on again. And it's just thickened nicely, so I don't want it to thicken anymore. So, if needs be, I can add a tiny, tiny taste of water while I am away. Well folks, now for the taste test. So, let's see what this chicken Tikka Tandoori Pathia tastes like. I've had a few tiny sips or pieces of the sauce. Now to just take a little bit of the chicken, some rice. Wow, this is warm, and I don't mean, well it is spicy, but it's just out of the pot. Yeah, this is how I expected it to turn out. Absolutely wonderful. You have the spice, you have the sourness, and you have that sweetness coming through from the mango chutney. So, absolutely wonderful. Do try this. Until the next time, look after yourself, your friends, your family, and I'll see you soon. Rock on for now. Bye.